interesting. If we want to see that the world is awash with oil, remember what I said was it's not a matter of how much oil in the world. The world has plenty.
It's a delivery system.
It's a delivery system which is controlled, a contrived crisis to drive up the prices.
Well, it's like diamonds are really on the mid-scale or lower scale of even semi-precious. They're not even highly semi-precious. I mean, in Africa, they just lay around on the ground, but people fight, mortgage their house, work a year to pay for a, big rock for their wife, because that's the symbol, and literally they have giant warehouses just filled with diamonds.
Now, here's an interesting thing. Maybe people haven't heard about the oil discovery down in Brazil. But listen to this from Bloomberg.com. Bloomberg, okay? One of the top sources of financial and industry information in the world. It says Petrobras. Now, that's the petroleum company that's owned by the nation of Brazil, okay? Now, Petrobras, by the way, is a corporation as big as Microsoft, General Motors, and General Electric. It's right there in the top 5 in all of the Americas. It says Petrobras discovers world's 3rd largest oil field. This just came out. Listen to this. This is a story that just ran April 14th. It says Petróleo Brasilia, that's Petrobras, offshore Carioca field may hold 33 million barrels of oil, enough to supply every refinery in the United States for 6 years, making it the 3rd largest oil field ever discovered, off of Brazil in the Atlantic. Can you imagine the oil there? Petrobras? Amazing.
And the Russians are founded. It's just everywhere. It's just...
Listen, the United States, according to the industry experts, so-called, claim that we have 29 billion barrels in reserve. Hey, they've got 33 billion down there in Brazil. Forget about Hugo Chavez and Venezuela. I'm talking about Brazil. Did you know that the Brazilian stock market went wild with this? The telephone companies, anything that's Brazilian went wild. I mean, it's booming right now. Why? They have oil that's going to be coming out their ears. But wait, that's not all. Look, why do you think we're in Kosovo? Again, just like why we're in Iraq. Look at this news item. Large potential Albanian, that's right there in the Kosovo area, oil and gas discovery underscores Kosovo's importance.
One reason that I read 10 years ago that they staged the invasion was because they found oil, uranium, silver, nickel.
There it is.
Oh.
There's a confirmation.
Al-Qaeda helped again to take over the country.
Now let's look at the United States itself, okay? Oh, well, we have to get 60% of our oil from foreign sources. Really? Well, look at this. The Bakken Oil Formation. Welcome to the next oil boom. The U.S. Geological Survey has just published its official results of a groundbreaking study. Up in North Dakota, who would have believed it? South of North Dakota and Montana, they have found a store of oil that could last America, could take care of all of our oil needs for 1,000 years in South of North Dakota.
Final segment with Tex Mars, then Michael Hoffman coming up. We're going to take this break and then be right back. We're doing behind-the-scenes interviews. If you're an Infowars.com internet stream listener or PrisonPlanet.tv viewer, we'll be right back.
Terror Storm, a history of government-sponsored terror. Loose Change Final Cut. Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. The True Story of the Bilderberg Group. The Late Great USA. America, Freedom to Fascism. These are just a few of the hundreds of powerful documentary films and books available at truthnews.us and prisonplanet.com. When you visit prisonplanet.com, you can connect to our amazing online store. Whether you're looking for survival and wellness products like Berkey water filters, or you would like a book on the history of the Federal Reserve, we've got the most well-researched and documented titles, all available at prisonplanet.com. Or if you'd like, you can give the InfoWars store a call at 888-253-3139. Or you can view more than 1,000 titles in super high quality right now at prisonplanet.tv. Knowledge is power, and the information you need to effectively wake up your fellow man and fight the New World Order is available right now at truthnews.us and prisonplanet.tv. Join the Info War today.
I don't mind that I'm getting older, but my wrinkles made me too nervous to smile. It was those fine lines that formed around my cheeks and mouth, and those crow's feet over by my eyes. People were starting to think I looked unhappy, but really I was just embarrassed by those wrinkles. Then I heard about a product called Tautanol. Tautanol is a serum that goes directly on the skin to support collagen and reduce the appearance of wrinkles. And it works. I'm not afraid to smile anymore. Now it's your turn. Today you can get a full bottle of Tautanol. You don't need a prescription, and you don't need surgery to reduce the appearance of those wrinkles. See what Tottenol can do for you and your confidence. It sure gave me something to smile about.
For your risk-free bottle of Tottenol, call 1-800-457-9914. That's 1-800-457-9914. Tottenol is the non-invasive way to reduce the appearance of wrinkles. Guaranteed. Call 1-800-457-9914. That's 1-800-457-9914.
Hemp, the superfood for you and your family. Hemp has nutritional values that far exceed any known plant. Hemp, used for food, clothing, and shelter since time began. Hemp. This God-given food source is controlled by your government, making it not legal to grow for American people and farmers, but legal to import. Our founding fathers grew hemp because they knew of the benefits it offered. The protein powder, seeds, and oil are available through hempusa.org. Recommended daily intake of this food source will allow the body to heal itself from many ailments. Loaded with potassium, magnesium, calcium, essential fatty acids, amino acids, and nutrients not available in other plants. Hemp can be stored with a long shelf life as a life-sustaining food source for you and your family. Could this be the government's best-kept secret? Call today at 908-691-2608 and see what the powder, seeds, and oil can do for you. Learn, help, shop at hempusa.org. We do not charge for shipping. That's 908-691-2608 or go to hempusa.org today.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
It is the final segment with Tex Mars. I'm going to recap briefly what's happened with the Deborah Jean Palfrey murder. And that's even what mainstream television is saying. Before we finish up with how they're having these contrived artificial scarcities tax in this key area that you're exposing. You said you were watching Nancy Grace and she was saying this is suspicious. We played some clips from Fox where they're saying it's suspicious. I mean, this is getting ridiculous when the prostitute under her, who was a college professor, going to get an extra PhD at the time, was facing 6 months in jail and hung herself, saying she was going to shoot her mouth off. And then now she's telling everybody, if they kill me, I was killed, I'm not going to kill myself. Then they have this government spook type come out who makes up all this stuff and has a history of it, saying, oh, she just called me and said she was going to kill herself. And then the media runs with that. I mean, they are really getting desperate.
Well, they're getting desperate, but they're also getting bold. They're shameless. And by the way, the Nancy Graces, the Fox News, we'll see how far they go with this. Because this is an explosive issue, and it could go up, as you mentioned, to the McCains and the Cheneys and so forth. I think we also need to look for Vicki Eisman. Is she still available? Is she still alive? Where is she?
Did you hear about this weird thing?
McCain's, little girl that he was having a little teat-to-teat with.
Well, there was a high-level CIA operative who did things with the police chief and CIA director and was all over TV and headed up one of the regional, intelligence agent groups, clubs. And the cops reportedly started chasing him. He ran, and then he stops. Well, first they said he ran. He didn't run. He gets out of the car nicely, and they blast him. So it turns out the first story was a lie. And it's on video. The cop just walks up. The guy's there, and the cops shoot him. And, of course, we know they have hitmen on the police forces in every major city, especially Houston, as one of the worst. Now there's a lot of weird stuff's going on. And this local Palestinian had Israelis with machine guns running around in his yard, the neighbors said. And he was an activist, peaceful activist. He was a school teacher, and then they tortured him to death and duct tape all over his body, threw it in the river. And the APD first said, oh, yeah, he was murdered. I talked to people at TV stations that heard the scanners, and the police said that, too, that, yeah, we thought he was murdered. And then, no, the higher-up said, no, this is quite normal to be all tied up and sliced up.
Yeah. Well, sir, it goes all the way back to the LBJ era when a guy was, shot 32 times in the back. And they said he committed suicide. Because he was one of the guys that knew the truth about the voting irregularities.
But that's when you know it's the government.
The Johnson election.
Because if it's a normal murder, they'll actually go around and maybe investigate. But when it's a government op, you could... the cops walk up and execute this guy, and they're saying, oh, it's no big deal.
Alex, I've known you for quite a while now. I know your precious wife, Violet. You're a happy guy because you love to expose evil in the world. I think it gives you happiness to do that. And thank God for that kind of attitude.